Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're pulling together a stack of fascinating sources that, honestly, at first glance, might seem completely unrelated.
Right.
But stick with us because you're about to discover some, well, truly surprising connections. We've got everything from really personal reflections on parenting to, you know, cutting edge discussions on AI.
Yeah, and a whole lot in between. Sales strategies, business development. It's quite a mix.
It really is.
Exactly. And our mission today, it isn't just to list what's in these sources, it's to uncover the underlying principles that kind of weave through them all.
Yeah.
So whether you're navigating, say, a child's first day of daycare, or maybe learning an ancient language, or even closing a complex business deal.
Big difference there.
Huge difference. But we're going to try and extract those actionable insights, the things that help you thrive, adapt, and lead, really, in any aspect of your life.
So if you're looking for maybe a shortcut to being remarkably well-informed and you love those aha moments.
We all love those.
We do. The ones that make you rethink things. Get ready. We're going to unpack these sources and see what patterns emerge about growth, influence, and ultimately success.
Let's do it.
All right, let's jump right in with something really relatable. Parenting.
Okay.
One of our sources shares this quite touching moment at a daycare drop-off. Observing a mother, visibly struggling on her child's first day.
Oh, I can picture that. Tough moment.
Totally. And it immediately transported the author back to their own difficult first drop-off, fighting back tears, daughter clinging, the whole thing.
Yeah. What's really interesting here, though, is the parallel they draw to growth. It's almost counterintuitive.
How so?
Well, the author notes how their daughter now practically bubbles with excitement at daycare, rushing off to friends.
Right, complete transformation.
Exactly. And this illustrates a key realization. As children grow, we must gradually relinquish control to allow them to flourish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Letting go.
Yeah. Though letting go is challenging, it's the only path to their growth. And it's surprising how often this applies elsewhere, isn't it?
Like in leadership, maybe?
Precisely. Think about leadership. The best leaders, they don't micromanage, do they?
No, ideally not.
They empower. Even when it feels risky, they understand that true team growth requires them to step back sometimes, just like that parent.
That's a great point. That idea of an emotional aha moment, recognizing a deeper truth. It extends way beyond parenting. Another source highlights a personal moment of what they actually call emotional unintelligence.
Okay, interesting term.
Yeah, where the author completely misidentified their feeling. They thought it was nervousness.
Right.
But it was actually intimidation. Specifically, intimidation by executive titles.
Oh, okay. Subtle but important difference.
Crucial difference. They realize recognizing the specific emotion and its trigger is key. It's not just feeling something, it's accurately diagnosing what you're feeling and why.
And this leads straight into the core challenge of emotional intelligence, doesn't it?
Seems so.
It's not just knowing the definition, it's about consistently applying it, especially under pressure.
Right, when it's hardest.
Exactly. And our sources suggest that mastery often comes not from, avoiding negative emotions,
Oh, interesting.
but from strategically leveraging them. Think about turning frustration into fuel for solving a problem.
Okay, yeah.
Or maybe channeling anxiety into meticulous preparation. That's where the real power is,
That makes sense. And this source actually offers 3 actionable steps for improving the skill.
Practical steps, good.
Yeah. First, schedule actual downtime. Time for self-awareness, asking questions like, what was the real reason for my reaction? Or what did I handle well?
Taking that reflective pause.
Crucial.
Second, create technology-free zones. Prioritize time for yourself, away from the constant barrage of input,
Dead off the phone.
basically. And third, name the specific emotion. Accurately diagnose the feeling to build the right internal infrastructure to manage it effectively.
The diagnosis piece seems key. It really does. Now, it's fascinating how that internal clarity, that emotional intelligence, how it directly impacts our ability to connect externally.
Right. The inside affects the outside.
Exactly. Our next source gives us this really powerful example of what that connection looks like when it's, well, truly mastered.
Okay.
An executive actually told the author, "Thanks for being an extension of my team."
Wow, that's high praise.
Isn't it? And then added, "You and your team spoke our language."
Yeah.
That's kind of feedback everyone wants, right?
Absolutely. And this concept, speaking the customer's language, it isn't a one-off thing.
Yeah.
The source says it's a continuous round-the-clock process. It means understanding their business so deeply,
Deeper than surface level.
much deeper. So you can anticipate their unvoiced concerns, maybe even challenges they haven't articulated yet. So precisely that they kind of wonder if you've been sitting in on their internal meetings.
Huh. Okay. That's the goal.
That's when you shift from just being a vendor to being, an indispensable advisor.
Right. So how do you actually learn this language? You don't just guess, I assume.
Definitely not guessing.
Mm-hmm.
You research it. You dig in.
Okay, like what?
Our sources recommend diving into, well, everything. Company websites, press releases, earnings transcripts, industry publications.
The official stuff?
The official stuff, yeah. But also social media, news articles, and importantly, talking directly to your customers' customers.
Ah, interesting angle.
And scouring product reviews, maybe on platforms like G2. There are so many layers to truly understanding a customer, way beyond just the official comms.
It really sounds like detective work almost. What specific insight would you say can you only get from those maybe less obvious sources like talking to their customers?
That's a great question. Often from those direct conversations or, say, product reviews, you uncover the emotional landscape around their challenges.
Emotional landscape.
Yeah, the frustrations, the unmet needs, the things they wish they had but maybe don't say in a formal meeting, stuff that doesn't make it into a press release.
Gotcha. Subtext.
Exactly, and this deep understanding, that's what allows you to ask the right questions and infuse a refreshing outlook, which, forward-thinking business leaders really crave. Because you're addressing their core pain, not just a surface symptom.
That makes perfect sense. And this theme, building relationships through deep understanding, it connects directly to sales, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Brian Tracy emphasizes that your personality determines something like 80% of sales success.
80%? Wow.
Yeah, highlighting traits like self-confidence, self-esteem, but above all, empathy. Genuinely caring about your customers.
Can't fake that.
You really can't. He says the twin keys to top sales performance are ambition and empathy. You need both.
Ambition and empathy. Okay.
Yes, and then there's this lawyer turned entrepreneur, Juki Obio. He powerfully echoes this, his top business development skill.
Let me guess. Empathy.
Close, active listening. But he says the ultimate objective is empathy.
Ah, okay. The means to the end.
Precisely. He shares this case study where a small law firm won a huge prospects RFP, not because they were the biggest firm.
Right.
But because they asked questions to deeply understand the prospect's specific need for subject matter expertise. It wasn't about what they wanted to sell.
It was about what the client needed.
Exactly. They listened until they really unearthed that core need.
So, okay, we've talked about the internal work, the emotional intelligence side.
Right.
And the external work, really understanding the customer, the active listening. But how do you kind of systematize that understanding, that problem solving?
That's where frameworks come in, right? They offer a kind of mental scaffolding.
Yeah, structure.
Structure. One article likens account management to riding a bicycle. Knowing the basics makes the risk manageable, even exciting.
Okay, I like that analogy.
And it introduces the people, process, or product framework, a way to quickly build solution hypotheses.
People, process, or product. Okay, explain that a bit.
Well, that analytical approach is crucial. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's like a mental shortcut.
Right.
So if a client says, our sales are down, instead of just guessing why.
Yeah, throwing darts.
Exactly. You immediately consider, is it a people issue? Like wrong hires, maybe lack of training.
Yeah.
Is it a process issue, a broken lead qualification system, maybe poor follow-up?
Right.
Or is it a product issue? Does the product itself just not meet the current market needs?
So it gives you categories to investigate.
Precisely.
Yeah.
A diagnostic checklist to quickly pinpoint the likely problem area. And this applies way beyond just sales situations,
I can see that. That's incredibly helpful. And then another deep dive, this one into the book, An Elegant Puzzle by Will Larson. He's the CTO of Calm.
Oh, yeah? Familiar with that book.
It confirms that management in any profession has one thing in common, people. No surprise there, maybe.
Still true, though.
Still true. But Larson presents this framework for understanding the 4 states of engineering teams, from falling behind all the way to innovating.
And importantly, he prescribes different solutions for each state.
Right. Reinforcing that a one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work.
Absolutely not. And his genius, I think, is identifying that the falling behind state, for example, it isn't just about output dropping.
No.
It often signals a lack of psychological safety. Engineers might fear failure, so they don't take risks.
Okay. Deeper issue.
Much deeper.
Yeah.
So his solution isn't just, more deadlines. It's fostering a culture of experimentation and learning, fixing the environment.
That makes so much sense. This leads beautifully to another analogy from one of our sources. I love this one.
Okay.
Are you playing soccer or lacrosse?
Soccer or lacrosse. Okay, unpack that.
Meaning, are you trying to get your customer to buy in the way you sell? That's your game, maybe soccer. Or are you trying to force them into the way your competitors sell? Maybe that's lacrosse.
Oh, I see. Playing their game versus your own.
Exactly. The powerful lesson here is invest in your game. Deeply understand your customer's business outcomes. Develop your own distinct point of view.
Be confident in your approach.
Yeah. And proactively share ideas to solve their challenges. Be a strategic partner, not just another vendor playing someone else's game.
That's really insightful. Being proactive, not reactive.
And applying these frameworks, these strategic insights, well, it takes discipline, right?
Oh, absolutely. Back to Chikiobiyo again. He also stresses the critical importance of goal setting.
Writing them down.
Writing down clear professional and business development goals. And just as important, daily routine execution.
Consistency.
Consistency. He gives this example of an attorney who started sending just one thoughtful, have a nice weekend email every single day.
Just one a day.
Just one. But consistently, and over time, this small action significantly extended their network and opened up completely new opportunities.
It's that compounding effect again. Small actions, big results over time.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Finally, building on this idea of disciplined action, Brian Tracy highlights something crucial.
That's that.
To double your productivity, double your income, he says you must plan every day in advance. Prioritize relentlessly.
Easier said than done something.
Oh, for sure. But then constantly ask yourself this question. What can I, and only I, do that, if done well, will make the greatest difference in my work?
The leverage question. Focusing your effort.
It's such a powerful filter for maximizing your impact, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's try and tie all these threads, the empathy, the understanding, the frameworks, the discipline, back to that core challenge many people face, actually closing a sale.
It's a moment of truth.
Right. Brian Tracy reveals something that honestly sounds almost too simple. He says many salespeople fail simply because
You don't ask.
they didn't ask for the sale.
Wow. All that work and then
Stumble at the finish line. He says it completely transformed his own career when he realized that.
I believe it. According to Tracy, though, before you do ask for that buying decision, there are several bases you must touch, as he puts it.
Okay, like prerequisites.
Exactly. To ensure success, the customer has to believe in your company and in you personally. Trust. They must need what you're selling, a genuine need. They must be able to use it effectively.
Practicality.
Practicality. They have to be able to afford it, obviously.
Budget.
Budget. And this is key. They must completely understand the full nature and scope of the offer. No confusion, no ambiguity.
Clarity. So trust, need, usability, affordability, clarity.
If any one of those elements is shaky or missing, that sale is fundamentally at risk. You haven't earned the right to ask yet.
That's a great checklist. Now, to truly master this whole process, our sources recommend a whole library shelf full of influential sales books.
The classics and the new contenders.
Exactly. Think How to Win Friends and Influence People, the absolute classic for building authentic relationships.
Foundational stuff.
Then you've got Spin Selling, which really revolutionized how people think about asking the right diagnostic questions.
Asking, not telling.
Right. And the Challenger Sale, which is all about teaching customers, helping them see their own problems in new, often uncomfortable ways.
Pushing their thinking a bit.
Yeah, challenging them. And then there's a popular Reddit thread that also highlights never split the difference.
Chris Voss. Negotiation.
Negotiation, yes, but not just negotiation. The thread emphasizes its focus on emotional intelligence and how practical its techniques are in daily life.
Yeah, it's about understanding the psychology of persuasion in almost any interaction. Way broader than just closing big deals.
Totally applicable. So when it comes to the actual close itself, the ask.
The moment of asking for the commitment.
Yeah. Our sources detail numerous techniques, effective ones.
Okay, heck what?
There's the ascending close, building momentum through a series of small yes questions.
Getting them nodding along.
Exactly. The invitational close, which can be as simple as, why don't you give us a try?
Low pressure, inviting.
Very. The summary close, where you logically recap all the agreed upon benefits before asking.
Reminding them of the value.
There's even the puppy dog close.
The puppy dog.
Yeah, let them try it out first, assuming they'll fall in love with it, like taking a puppy home for the weekend.
Huh? Okay, got it. Trial periods.
Trial periods. The classic Ben Franklin close, listing pros and cons together.
Old school but effective.
And even the subtle order sheet close, where you start filling out the details together, making the sale feel customized and almost like a done deal already.
Assuming the sale makes it feel natural.
Lots of tools in the toolkit. But it's also crucial, the sources stress, to handle objections with confidence. Don't get defensive.
See them as opportunities.
Right. And creating urgency without resorting to high-pressure tactics. That's a fine line.
Very fine line. The goal is to make the customer feel they might miss a genuinely valuable opportunity if they hesitate.
FOMO, fear of missing out.
Exactly. Rather than feeling forced or pressured into a decision they're not ready for.
And here's a crucial, maybe slightly terrifying tip from Brian Tracy about the close.
Oh, yeah.
After asking a closing question. Silence.
Ah, the power of silence.
He says the longer the silence goes on, the more likely it is that the prospect will buy.
Wow, that takes nerve.
Doesn't it? He adds, the person who speaks first, he says, usually loses. That takes tremendous discipline to just wait.
Absolutely. Resisting that urge to fill the void. Powerful stuff.
Okay, let's broaden our scope even further now. Look at how technology intersects with something maybe unexpected. Heritage.
Okay, interesting shift.
Yeah, one really inspiring interview details the creation of Nuktua Oku. It's a free platform aiming to save the Igbo language from extinction.
Igbo language in Nigeria. Facing extinction. Wow.
Yeah, the founder, Ijema Onwuzulike, discusses how English becoming Nigeria's official language, plus Western cultural influence,
Right.
it all contributes to the language just not being passed down effectively generation to generation.
That's a huge challenge. So what does this platform do?
Well, her work is directly pushing back against those dire predictions. This platform, Nutpa Oku, it provides over 8,000 Igbo words, example sentences, audio recordings.
Making it accessible.
Hugely accessible. It supports 17 different dialects and even includes the ancient Nsibidi script.
That's incredibly comprehensive.
It is, and they're not stopping there. They're building a learning platform to offer high-quality Igbo courses and actually incentivize instructors to teach.
Wow. That's a powerful example, isn't it? Leveraging technology to preserve valuable cultural heritage. Not just archiving the past, but actively ensuring its future.
Exactly. It really highlights how intentional, focused effort can counteract these massive cultural shifts.
A real proactive approach.
Definitely. And speaking of technology, that brings us to AI. Our sources also dive into that critical ongoing conversation around artificial intelligence.
Can't avoid that topic these days.
Not really. And while acknowledging the big splashy excitement around artificial superintelligence, ASI.
The sci-fi future stuff.
Right. The focus in these pieces is more on the now and the near-term impact, which is frankly far more immediate and relevant for most of us.
Yeah, what's happening on the ground today and tomorrow. Makes sense.
George Telesh, he's the author of One Piece, notes this significant shift he's observed from boundless techno-optimism a few years ago
Right, AI solves everything.
to now often very black or white narratives. Either it's utopia or dystopia. And he highlights a profound lack of unbiased, nuanced understanding in the mainstream conversation.
Yeah, it gets polarized very quickly.
Totally. So his book aims to provide a balanced view, but with a strong moral anchor, asking these deep, profound questions to help steer AI towards a, quote, beneficial AI future for our civilization.
So focusing on responsible development,
Yeah.
not just breakneck speed.
That seems to be the core message. And his biggest fear regarding artificial superintelligence.
Okay, what is it? Killer robots.
Not exactly. It's more subtle, maybe more chilling. It's the mere seconds a newborn AGI might need to explode in myriad directions.
Explode, meaning...
Meaning rapidly develop capabilities far beyond our comprehension or control, almost instantaneously. He feels that we as humans may not be prepared for such a jump.
That acceleration.
Yeah. He emphasizes foresight is not our core strength, which feels pretty accurate looking at history.
That is a sobering thought, especially given how quickly technology often outpaces our ability to predict, let alone manage its full impact.
Exactly. So, crucially, he advises executives and governments against fragmented, siloed approaches to AI strategy.
Everyone doing their own thing isn't going to work.
Right. He advocates for uncompromising focus and shared understanding at the highest levels, consistent regulation, shared development principles across sectors, not just piecemeal efforts here and there.
A unified strategy. Makes sense, given the potential stakes.
And he also argues very strongly that AI ethics is not an afterthought. It's not a nice to have.
It needs to be baked in from the start.
Precisely. He calls it a competitive advantage that actually pays off considerably, especially as today's narrow AI solutions scale up.
How so? A competitive advantage.
Well, building trust through transparent ethical development isn't just good PR. It's smart business. It avoids potential backlash, regulatory hurdles, and the competitive disadvantages that come from unintended negative consequences down the line.
Right. Building trust is building value.
That seems to be the argument. What an incredible journey, eh? Through personal milestones, professional mastery, huge societal challenges.
Really covered a lot of ground.
From learning to let go as a parent to mastering the subtle art of the sale, and from preserving ancient languages with tech to trying to ethically steer our AI future, one clear theme seems to emerge, doesn't it?
What stands out most to you?
I think it's that continuous learning, deep empathy, and strategic disciplined action. They seem to be the bedrock of success in pretty much every domain we touched on.
Indeed. Yeah, whether you're navigating a tough conversation, maybe trying to understand a completely new market, or honestly just trying to get more done in your day.
Yeah.
The frameworks, the insights, those lessons we've explored.
Thinking about all this, what really stands out to you listening? How might you apply some of these insights, maybe to better understand a challenge in your own life?
Or perhaps discover a new language that helps you connect more deeply with the people around you.
The insights are definitely there for the taking. We hope these connections sparked something for you as they did for us putting this together.